Good morning. This is Jack from Charting the Markets, and hang on. And this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Wednesday, the 22nd of January. Hang on, bear with me a moment. Right. My disclaimer: I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing and learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. I'm not here to issue trading signals. Right. So far, this is going really well. Last Thursday, I was saying that if we could push up, then we would set up targets at the retests of the all-time highs, and so that's what we've been doing, and we've been pushing up. We've had negative divergence, and we've been pushing up through it, and that is great. I've been looking at the charts this morning. I'm really liking this into retest the all-time highs. I'm thinking there's a possibility of seeing some retracement today. We're at some possible trend lines for minor patterns within the overall pattern, but I'm not seeing a clear overall pattern, which is great. That's exactly what I like to see. There's no clear overall pattern means we're not done yet in all probability. So likelihood we're going higher. If we see a pullback, it's likely to be a buying opportunity. Okay, we've still got a 60-minute sell signal fixed here, but if we continue pushing up today, that may well fail. I've got a nice looking support trend line. I've got the support at about 60.50 at the moment. If we go back and back test that, and I'm really liking this for a retest of the all-time high, which is getting closer by the day. NQ, this has been slower off the low. Obviously, we made the initial targets and so on, but this is still looking pretty good, breaking up from a bull flag, and I've still got a target for that at a retest of the all-time high. RTY has finally broken up over the double bottom resistance. It's not the best of the double bottoms. The YM one is better, but it's not bad, and this has got a target range in the 24.15 to 24.55 area, which could get us back up to a retest of these highs, pretty close to it. So YM has also broken up for a double bottom. This looks better on the RTH chart than it does on the future, but it's not bad. And this has got a target range in the 45,000 to 45,500 area, and I'm liking it. We've got a weak 60-minute sell signal here, which is almost failed once already, and is pretty close to failing again now. And I'm thinking all of these 60-minute sell signals may well fail. We're certainly not seeing any retracement on the basis of them so far, and some of these are getting pretty close to failing now. On DAX, we've just continued moving up. 60-minute sell signal may well fail there, and ESTX the same. So let's have a look at those on the bigger picture charts. Okay, let's have a look at SPX first. On the bands, we're up at the daily upper band, and the bands are now expanding, which is great, and the middle band is turning up. So expanding bands is good. That gives us more room to go up. On the hourly chart, no current negative divergence, and really reading this as a flag setup, this is obviously on the way to a retest of the high at 6099 at 97. Looking at the 15-minute chart, we've got an RSI 14 sell signal fixed, but really it's been doing absolutely nothing. If we didn't already have one, another one would be brewing. That doesn't need to do anything anyway, either. We do have a possible rising wedge, which is breaking down slightly here. I'm wondering if that might deliver us a retracement, but this doesn't look like the overall pattern. So if we do see a retracement, chances are we're going to see higher afterwards. On the Qs, not doing as well, but still making good progress, well above the daily middle band, and getting towards the upper band. Again, the bands are turning and starting to expand, which is great. Overall setup, this is the flag. It could have broken down or it could have broken up, and it's broken up. So unless we are going to form a larger pattern, and I'm not seeing any obvious sign of that at the moment, then the target is a retest this high here at 538.28. On the 15-minute chart, we've got a RSI 14 sell signal. This one had already reached the possible near miss target. Again, there's not a bad setup to see a bit of retracement here, but it's nothing particularly strong either. I wouldn't be surprised to see some. If we do, likely it's a buying opportunity. The buy signal on Dia, on the daily, the weak RSI 14 buy signal is looking good, and I think that's going to make target. This has a decent shot at making it back up into a retest of the all-time high, as do they all, actually. Although IWM should pick up the pace a bit. Here, the bands are turning up, but this would be a good time for a retracement because we're getting we're getting closer to the 3SD upper band, with the 2SD upper band being support all of yesterday. So it wouldn't be a bad thing to see a bit of a retracement, and I'm looking higher. So I think this has got a pretty good chance of retesting the all-time high as well at 450.08. No divergence on the 60-minute chart. Nice looking little double bottom which has broken up, and see that on the 15-minute chart. That's pretty nice. Target area 446 to 449 with the retest of the all-time high at 450.08. So it's getting us into spitting distance. And at the moment, well, again, we could have a little rising wedge here, which is overthrowing and might see it deliver a bit of a retracement. But this is what I would see as an early stage pattern in the trend. So I think we're going to see the retest of the highs, and then we will see what happens then. It wouldn't surprise me to get, go a bit higher. It wouldn't surprise me if we see a larger retracement start directly from there. I am expecting to see one in the next month or two. Although I could be mistaken. It's happened before. All right. Okay. IWM. On the daily chart, we're again getting pretty close to the 3SD upper band. Wouldn't be a bad time for a retracement. We've got a weak RSI 14 buy signal fixed here too, and I am liking the upside. So I think this has got a pretty good chance of making target, or at least the possible near miss target. And I think this has got a decent shot at retesting the high. Now the flag setup here is not as nice, and on that, I was saying yesterday we hadn't reached on the best flag draw. We hadn't reached the flag resistance yesterday, and we have reached it today. So I'm waiting to see if that can break through. I think it can. Chances are it's going to break through at the open. We will see how that goes. On the 15-minute chart, we've got a bit of negative divergence now and an RSI 5 sell signal fixed on 15-minute. We've also got this asymmetric double bottom, which has broken up with the target in target area in about the 236.4 to the 240.6 area. The all-time high is at 244.25. It gets us within range of it, and obviously it'd be nice to see this pick up the pace a bit, but it's looking pretty good, and I'm liking it a lot. All right, DAX has been powering higher. You see the daily upper band. We're basically on a strong upper band right here. Nikkei has actually caught a bid and is coming back to test the daily middle band. I'm not optimistic about seeing a retest of 42.4, but I think a retest of 40.4 looks pretty doable. We will see. I mean, it could be. I mean, Nikkei runs, it runs to a different drum, really. So, I mean, we'll see how that goes. But I don't think 42.4 really looks as though it's on the table right now. All right, let's have a look at dollar, which is looking pretty interesting today. Now, here, you could read this as a asymmetric double top, which is thinking about breaking down. You could read this as a head and shoulders, which is starting to break down. And I have to say the currency is looking interesting. We've got a possible weak 60-minute sell signal brewing here, but there's a theme developed. Now, I was saying a couple of days ago that the currency pairs weren't looking that united, but now they are. I've got an IHS here on EURUSD, which is breaking up with a target in the 1.07 area, and that looks nice. GBP USD, I've got a decent looking IHS there, which is breaking up with a target in the 1.26 area, and again, that looks pretty nice. USD JPY, I've got a double top, which is broken down with targets down here in the 153.8 to the annual pivot area of 153.15. We've got a possible little double bottom here, which could break up and take it back to a retest of the highs, but again, that's not a bad looking topping pattern. Nice looking topping pattern on, we had a double top which broke down and failed. I had another double top which broke down and failed. We've now got a third double top which is thinking of breaking down. Not a bad reversal pattern. 3 fails in a row. It hasn't broken down yet, so at the moment it can't fail, but three fails in a row would be a lot. If it breaks down again, I think it's got a decent shot. We've got a possible double bottom forming on Australian dollar, and we've got a possible double bottom forming on NZ as well. All right, let's have a look at the dollar on the bigger picture charts. What have we got here? RSI 5 sell signal fixed, and that's now made target. We had a possible RSI 14 sell signal brewing, and that's now fixed. I'm liking the downside. We saw a break of the rising support here. This is obviously a potential area for a major reversal, but if we were talking about forming the top here, if this is going to be a big reversal, as it might be. Because you can see we've got a pretty nice looking megaphone. I was talking about this megaphone resistance, which I've tweaked a bit, but not much, back when we were down, when we broke up over here. And I was talking about this level here. We've made it, and I'm liking the downside here. It's looking pretty good at the moment. So if we do that, what I'd be thinking was this head and shoulders would break down. It would get us down to this key support area down here and possible head and shoulder neckline in the 106.4 area. We'd leaning towards seeing a right shoulder bounce or a retest of this high at 110 at that stage, and then we make the decision as to whether we're going to go all the way back to the bottom. But at the moment, as a topping setup, it's forming pretty well. All right, looking at KC, nice looking flag, still hasn't made the target. SB is still trickling down. We're in a big support area, and I'm wondering whether we might see a bottoming setup form here, but the last one has failed. The daily buy signal's failed. I wouldn't be astounded to see this go lower. CC, this turned into a messy triangle, but has broken up with a pretty clear target at a retest of this high here, just under 13,000. Leaning towards seeing that made. Wheat, I was just bemoaning the fact that it had barely moved off the low yesterday, and actually we made the little double bottom target. We've broken up from a larger double bottom here. I'm wondering if it can make that target, and I've got that target up here in about the 581 area. So waiting to see if it can manage that. On corn, we've gone a little higher here, could be topping out potentially, but no great sign of that happening. On soy, we went back and retested this high. This could be the second high of a double top. And we've got a possible weak 60-minute sell signal brewing. On cotton, we've got a nice looking little double bottom, which has broken up and done very little since. We've got a buy signal supporting this on the daily. I'm liking the upside, and the target's great at the monthly pivot at 69.31. On lumber, not sure what's happening here. On live cattle, we've broken this support trend line slightly, but this really looks like a bull flag forming, leaning towards seeing at least a retest of this high here in about the 199.6 area. And lean hogs has gone lower. This is no longer looking like a 50 back. We may be seeing a retest of this low here in the 84.5 area. All right, great. Let's have a look at questions. Silver. Okay. Did I not do silver? No, I don't think I did. Hang on. CL. CL, we've got a daily sell signal, and I'm wondering about this as a head and shoulders, which is broken down. I haven't marked it in yet, and I won't do it on the charts today, but I'll have it in for the charts tomorrow. If this is breaking down, this has got a target in the 72 area, and with a daily sell signal, that looks quite credible. On NG, we haven't broken down yet. This doesn't look like a head and shoulders, really, but we could form one with a bounce here, ideally. Coming out at about 3.59 area, and I'm thinking these may both go down in sympathy. One of the things that Trump seems pretty clear about is in delivering cheaper energy, and we'll see. Obviously, it takes us a while for policy to actually deliver much in the way of production, but we'll see how that goes. On GC, if we are about to see a decent decline on the dollar, then I'd be looking for a retest of the all-time high. Not seeing anything particularly obvious suggesting this is about to turn back down. We've got a tiny bit of negative divergence as it developed since I capped the chart earlier. On SI, I'd be looking for more upside too. HG is the one that concerns me. HG is concerning me because we've got a possible pretty decent looking head and shoulders forming here, so I'm just keeping an eye on that. I mean, a head and shoulders, basically a neckline is a support level. It could be that we'll just go straight up to the highs here, but I am wondering about this. If we see a strong reversal near the weekly pivot at 4.37, I would be wondering about a possible breakdown. Breakdown, of course, doesn't mean we make the target, but if we did breakdown, then the target would be in about 4.075 area. So I'm keeping an eye on that. All right, great. In that case, I think that's a wrap, guys. Should be an interesting day. Very pleased with the way things have been going. I'll have a post out this morning. Well, it's not going to give you any particularly new information, but there'll be a bit on there, I would have thought. But basically just reviewing how we're doing overall on retest of the all-time highs, potentially across the board. So that's looking pretty good, and I should have that out today. All right, great. Cheers, guys. Catch you tomorrow morning.